All right, we'll move on to the third and last issue under governor's proposals. Then we will take public comment and a vote. This deals with federal Title II funds on improving teacher quality, and let's hear from Finance.
Good afternoon. Kim Leahy, Department of Finance. The proposal predominantly was presented in the April letter and the May revise. However, there's a portion here for $600,000 in one-time carryover to be provided for administrator induction programs. This proposal was just shown to us. We're not fully aware of all the details. We do not have a position on that at this time. The remainder of the proposal, however, we agree with the staff recommendation. Okay, thank you. LAO?
Good afternoon, Jamil Naqvi, LAO. Just to walk you through this a little bit, most of these adjustments, with the exception of the $600,000, are really technical adjustments to adjust for the availability of the federal grant funds. The issue with the $403,000 was funds that were initially allocated in the April letter for the UC subject matter projects that actually should have been withheld for CDE state ops. So this staff recommendation just corrects for that error in the April letter. And then additionally, there was $600,000 in unallocated one-time federal carryover that's reflected in the staff recommendation. We don't have any comments on the specific proposal other than to note that we would recommend that you spend these funds because otherwise there's a risk that they could revert if they're left unspent. Secondly, we believe that based on the research we've done that this would be an allowable use of these funds to spend them on administrator induction, and we're happy to answer any other questions you have on this proposal.
Thank you. Department of Education.
In regards to the governor's proposal, we were in support of that with the changes that the Senate is proposing. At this time, with some clarification we received, we're fine with the proposal as well. Okay, thank you.
I have no questions on this issue. What I'd like to do now, before we move to have a roll call and a vote, assuming we have a quorum of members, I would like to entertain thank and excuse this panel, and entertain any public comment from members of the public on any of the issues discussed thus far, either the early childhood education piece, the Fair Start piece that Senator Steinberg addressed, or the three governor proposals on continuous appropriation of LCFF, calculation of unduplicated pupils on LCFF, or Title II funding for improved teacher quality. So please come forward, have the first four speakers take seats at the table. Yeah, your time is good. And I would like to remind all members of the public who are here to speak, and many of you have been to these meetings before, we're limited to 1 minute per person. If you have additional things to say, we're happy to take whatever you have in writing. Could be pages and pages, that's fine. But just 1 minute during your presentation. Also, when you begin, please state your name, and if you represent an organization, what organization you represent. We'll move from left to right. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Maria Gustori. I'm with Parent Voices, and I'm here to urge you to support the Legislative Women's Caucus investment package for childcare, which is $625 million. And also, I would just like to mention that it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And so we need to invest in our children early on. I'm a parent of 2 children who benefited from childcare at the right time, and they're now in college. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Junebug, and I'm with San Francisco Parent Voices. And I'm here today to say that it's horrible that we have 3,200 children waiting on the cell list, waiting. One of those children are my daughter. My son, in the past, he really benefited from child care subsidy. He now wants to go to Reardon High School. So investing into our children in an early age really does help as a form of prevention and the right way to rebuild our whole community and our society. And I also would like to support the legislative reinvestment package proposed by the Women's Caucus. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Raquel Cardenas. I'm here with Parent Voices also. I'm also a mother of two who benefited from childcare. And now I'm a provider to my own grandson. But unfortunately, these reimbursement rates are really low. And I love the job that I do. Don't get me wrong. I love being with him and teaching him all these new stuff. But you can't even buy milk on an hour's pay. So I'm also here to support the Women's Caucus and hope that you do too.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Esperanza Ross on behalf of the High School Districts Association, and I'm here speaking on the undercount of the unduplicated issue. One example I'd like to offer is that the Kern High School District, despite their concerted effort of reaching out to parents in the elementary feeder schools to try to sign up for the free and reduced price meal program, they were only able to get about half of the parents to sign up. So one thought to consider as you move forward is looking at siblings with regard to whether or not they have a brother or sister in the lower grades once the student moves on to the high school district. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Estella Mew with the California Teachers Association, and before I introduce the person who's going to say something regarding the Fair Share reinvestment program for early childhood, CTA does support the provision 2 and 3, the alternative plan for unduplicated students, and we want it for the record. Here with me is Lori Easterling, who will speak to the Pro Tem Steinberg's issue that he brought up today on early childhood
Thank you.
preschool.
Next speaker.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Lori Easterling, Manager of Legislative Relations. And everything I'm going to say to you, we've already said to Senator Steinberg and his staff. And we commend him absolutely in his efforts. We're neutral on the bill right now. We have our State Council of Education that meets next week, and they will be hearing this bill. But one policy concern I just want everybody just to be aware of is when we passed transitional kindergarten, we didn't change the entry date in which a child enters free public education. You just created a grade of school. You said our earliest learners, November birthdays, will get an additional year of public school. Under Senator Steinberg's proposal, you're changing what it means to be entered into public school. You're changing the criteria, and that will be income-based. So I just want you to be aware that you're making a huge policy shift because you're not making third grade income eligible, you're making a pre-K program. So just want you to be aware that that is happening. The fact that the LEAs will administer a program, we really appreciate that. We think that is the right direction, that a pre-K program shall be administered by a local education agency and not contracted out. Absolutely, really appreciate that point. And he's headed in the right direction on quality, on upping the standards for credentialed teachers.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker.
Danita Stromgren with the Northern Directors Group. We wholeheartedly support the Women's Caucus proposal and look forward to working with Senator Steinberg on his Fair Share proposal. We think there's wonderful connections between the two. We are concerned that there continue to be a mixed delivery system, and so we support any aspects of the proposals that include a mixed delivery system and clearly the reimbursement rates. So thank you, and we look forward to working through the process.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Camille Mabin, Executive Director, First Five California. Just want to thank Senator Steinberg for all the efforts in putting forward this proposal, and thank him for listening to the many conversations over the last few months to come up with a program that I think is designed to meet as many of the needs that have been expressed as possible. We are so interested in what the quality piece will look like. First Five all over the state have invested and have worked toward quality. Plus, we have, for the last 2 years, with Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge grants, administered all kinds of good quality programs within all parts of the state. And we look forward to learning from Race to the Top in order to move California forward.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
I'm Donna Snaringer with the Child Care Alliance of Los Angeles and the Child Care Resource Center in LA and San Bernardino County. We really want to thank Senator Steinberg for taking a big picture approach today. We support the proposals to reinvest in the child care reimbursement rates and add new slots, and look forward to working with him on the details as we move forward the next couple of weeks.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name's Sydney Fisher-Larson. I'm from College of the Redwoods in Eureka. I'm president of the California Community College Early Childhood Educators, and we applaud Senator Steinberg's proposal. We just want to remind you that increased access also means an increased need for a highly educated workforce. California's community colleges have historically done that. We want to continue to do that. We're being threatened both by budget cuts in the community college system and cuts to our lab schools, which is negatively impacting our ability to educate the high-quality teachers that this proposal needs.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. Beth Helmson with Fight Crime Invest in Kids. We represent over 400 sheriffs, police chiefs, district attorneys, and crime victims in the state. Our law enforcement leaders know that in order to keep kids in school and off the streets, we need to invest in our kids young. We are strong supporters of the senator's proposal. We've worked very, very closely with him, and we look forward to working with you on future investments in early education so we can keep our kids out of the criminal justice system.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Kimberly Rodriguez with the Association of California School Administrators, representing over 16,000 school leaders in California. I'm speaking to the Title II federal funds regarding induction, and we want to thank the committee for the $600,000 in one-time carryover funds to support new administrator induction program. This is an appropriate use of one-time funding, and we think it can make a real difference at the local level with quality in terms of our administrators. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. Marta Alvarez on behalf of San Diego Unified School District. Thank you, Senator Block and staff, for your consideration of our concerns. I handed up a handout with our different budget priorities. I'll focus my comments today on the Provision 2 issue. We're very appreciative of the governor's direction in the two changes for Provision 2 student counts for low-income students at Provision 2 and 3 schools, and we appreciate the committee's support of those efforts. We are still concerned with not having a hold harmless for 2012-2013 without having a hold harmless for the amount of forms that we did not collect. For a school like San Diego Unified, it would be about $3 million. It's 2,000 forms that we're missing, and so we don't have information on those kids that could be eligible for that supplemental concentration funding. I'll follow up with staff on that technical detail, but really my point is that the governor's proposal does not address the current year fiscal impact, and so without the hold harmless, we would be $3 million short. On the TK proposal, very quickly, we look forward to reading the details on the pre-K proposal. San Diego Unified, we're moving forward in 14-15 with adopting full TK at all of our schools, and so we want to make sure that what we're doing locally won't be impacted by the state level. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Janina Betez with Children Now. Very, very happy with what the senator is trying to do and applaud his efforts. Would love to really see more work and more details on the quality piece, because as we know, First Fives, the Race to the Top, the Department of Education's quality improvement plans are already doing some key components. So we would love to see a long-term vision of how all of these together can actually create a quality infrastructure for our state. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Next speaker.
Leilani Aguinaldo Yee on behalf of the Los Angeles Unified School District. Our district does support Senator Steinberg's proposal that he presented today to revise the current transitional kindergarten program and launch a new effort to offer pre-kindergarten for all low-income 4-year-olds in California. We believe the California pre-kindergarten program, as envisioned, will provide high-quality early education opportunities for about 80% of our families in LAUSD, and we do believe that the proposal is consistent with the local control funding formula efforts to assist our district in helping to lift youth out of poverty. Additionally, we do want to express our support for the May revision proposal dealing with the pupil counts at Provision 2 school sites. We believe that the governor addressed our concerns for moving forward in LCFF implementation for counting these students, and we also would like to align ourselves with the remarks of Ms. Alvarez regarding the need for a hold harmless in the current year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Celia Ayala, the CEO of Los Angeles Universal Preschool. We are very pleased to hear the coming together in terms of the senator's updated presentation in terms of his proposal, as well as the alignment of what the proposal of the Women's Caucus Group. The restoration of access with quality programs for all children 0 to 5 is critical to the future of the state. The reimbursement rate looking at what we need to do to improve the quality of programs across the state is critical. Building on an existing infrastructure that has a mixed model service where we take the best and implement best practices and research-based is to the benefit of all of our system. The issue of long-term funding, not only for programs, but for the quality, is critical. So we are truly interested in being part of any discussion from the Race to the Top experience, from our Early Learning Challenge grant, as well as our quality rating and improvement system at a local level for the last 10 years. And last but not least, I did leave some budget. We were not aware of today's language, but we do have some suggested language for the Women's Caucus.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, Angie Garling with the Local Planning Council for Alameda County. Also want to say thank you for your work and also the work on behalf of the Legislative Women's Caucus. I'm also a parent of 8, 5, and 1-year-olds in a variety of child care programs. And we want to support restoration of slots, rates, and quality. And to the previous speaker's comments about quality, want to really make sure that there is a long-term plan for quality. The current proposal just says that it's 1 year only or one-time only quality. I run a quality improvement program that works with over 500 to 600 teachers every year who support our high-need learners, and it uses evidence-based quality to do on-site coaching, and we've seen tremendous turnaround in a lot of these programs. Would like to continue that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. Khadija Alam Javed with Advancement Project. I want to thank Senator Steinberg for bringing forward a proposal that's bold, thoughtful, and it's realistic to be implemented. So we thank him for that. And it addresses quality and access both for our youngest learners. As an advocate for early education, I've been doing that for 6 years. And as a new mother of a 7-month-old, what this year holds for early education is so exciting. I'm almost giddy with excitement when I hear this conversation going on in the legislature. We absolutely support Senator Steinberg's proposal with one caution in mind. I would urge you to make sure that the funding that goes to this pre-K program is stable and permanent, so we won't have to deal with what we have dealt with since 1998, cuts and slots cut and etc. So I would urge you to create a stable and permanent source of funding. On a personal note, I would also ask you to consider a scaled fee structure for pre-K programs for kids that are not low income. That's on a personal note. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. Cornelius Burke with the Bay Area Council. We support Senator Steinberg's proposal. We believe having a robust early childhood education system in California is essential. It's essential for the Bay Area and the continued success of California.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Nicole Wertelman on behalf of the Alameda County Board of Supervisors, also in support of the $650 million restoration to child care, specifically to slots, rates, quality funding, and access for 4-year-olds. We're also a bit concerned about the one-time nature of the quality dollars and would encourage a special look at that.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Chair. Kim Johnson, California Child Care Resource and Referral Network. Just want to again support the Legislative Women's Caucus package before you. We provided signatures. We were able to get 475 signatures in less than 2 days, individuals and organizations behind that. And again, there's quite a bit of alignment between what's being proposed by the Women's Caucus and what was proposed by the Senator this afternoon. So we fully support utilizing the existing infrastructure, resource and referral programs as one way to ensure that we're meeting those quality standards, and also, again, reminding that we have these federal regulations coming down. We know this summer that we will need to be prepared for in implementing. So, again, encouraging a multi-year investment, and we appreciate the legislature's support on these issues and wish you luck in negotiations with the governor.
Thank you so much. Next, next speaker.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Scott Moore with Early Edge California, and we too wish you luck with negotiations with the administration. What a historic day. What an incredible, tremendous opportunity for our youngest, most vulnerable children in this state. For us to be able to provide the high-quality early learning experiences they need in order to be ready for success in school. Nothing can be more important for a a strong society and a strong economy than that. With the research is very clear. All we need to do is just make the investment. It's a prudent and wise investment. When we do it in a high-quality way, that's what all the research says it works, that's when we know we can have confidence that our achievement gap will close. We're tremendously excited and look forward to working with you in support over the next few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Last speaker on this topic.
Hi, I'm Mary Breeding with Californians for Quality Early Learning, and we applaud Senator Steinberg and the Women's Caucus for the focus on the early education and as well as the restoration of the funds. We also were excited to hear about the restoration, and we're wanting to point out about quality. And the concern we still have is with the LEA and whether this is truly going to result in a mixed delivery system with the 4-year-olds going to the LEA. The system that has broken all quality records and defied all the national standards is the San Francisco Preschool for All. And that's truly a mixed delivery system that knits funding from Head Start, CDE state-funded programs, alternative payment, CalWORks subsidized children, and allowing families to choose the program that fits their child, whether it's a program at a school district, Head Start, a state-funded program, a private child care center, or a family daycare. So we know that the details aren't all out. There's still much for us to read. We've just learned about it like everybody else. So we really, truly want to ask that you look at the systems that really provide the highest quality.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. I want to thank everybody for being very brief and to the point, very concise, thorough at the same time. Now that we've had comment on the items before us, we will move to a roll call and a vote. So will staff please call the roll?
Block.
Here.
Lou. Here. Wyland.
And now we'll go to a vote first on the Fair Start issue.
The motion is to conform to the Prop 98 package. The Senate proposes in the 2014-15 budget year to increase the regional market rate to the 85th percentile of the 2010 survey starting January 1st, 2015, and to increase the standard reimbursement rate by 7.5% starting July 1st, 2014. The proposal increases early childhood education slots by 40,000 over all programs. Total budget year child care investment package is $550 million in ongoing rate and slot increases and $100 million in one-time quality projects. Block.
Aye.
Lou. Aye. Wyland.
Please show that passing 2-0 and close the roll. Now we'll move to local control funding formula continuous appropriation.
The motion is to reject the proposal and trailer bill, given the role of the legislature in annual budget determinations, including funding levels for the local control funding formula. Senator Block?
Aye.
Senator Liu? Aye. Senator Wyland?
Please show that passing 2-0 and close the roll. We now move to the LCFF calculation of unduplicated pupils.
The motion is to approve the trailer bill to be refined as necessary, including a requirement for the superintendent of public instruction to examine and report to the legislature on differences in the free and reduced price meal eligibility rates in 2013-14 and 2014-15. Also approve placeholder trailer bill allowing a revised methodology for the unduplicated count of free and reduced price meal eligible pupils in high school districts, in order to mitigate the negative fiscal impact on high school districts due to high school pupils who are reluctant because of social stigma reasons to declare free and reduced price meal eligibility. Senator Block?
Aye.
Senator Liu? Aye. Senator Wyland?
Please show that passing 2-0 and close the roll. Now we move to federal Title II funds improving teacher quality.
The motion is to approve as budgeted with this modification. 1, reject the April letter request to increase Schedule 2 by $403,000 to correct for SDE's technical error. 2nd, approve an additional $600,000 in one-time carryover funds for appropriation in a new Schedule 5 administrator induction programs for purposes of administrator induction programs that are approved by the Commission on Teacher Credentialing, and add conforming provisional language as noted in staff comments. Senator Block?
Aye.
Senator Liu?
Aye.
Senator Weiland?
Please show that passing 2-0 and close the roll. Okay, before we move to the vote-only calendar, where we'll also take public comment, just want to add one item on the record. As these budget proceedings go on, there are a number of late items, late additions, late requests that we get. Just want to note for the record and for potential further discussion, we received a request from Senator Torres we weren't able to agendize today. That request relates to an incident at the Rialto School District. Some of you may be aware it occurred about 10 days ago, came to our attention where the Rialto School District assigned a project for all 8th graders district-wide, and basically the project was a question they had to answer whether the Holocaust really occurred, or was it just, and this is pretty much a quote, just a scheme to make profit and gain sympathy. As part of what was, in my opinion, a rather horrendous assignment, it was allegedly to be one to test critical thinking, but they provided the students with 3 packets of information and called all 3 credible sources. One of those packets came from a white supremacist organization, a Holocaust denial organization. Many here in the legislature, the Jewish caucus, Senator Torres, Assemblymember Cheryl Brown, in whose district Rialto lies, sent letters of protest. The district at first responded with what's to them was an apology where they said they're sorry if people misunderstood the assignment, but most of us took that as much less than an apology for the assignment. And then after a number of visits by both Senator Torres and members of various organizations, some concentration camp survivors, finally was pressured into having a special meeting at which they heard issues and ultimately did apologize, retract the assignment, although most students had already completed it. And now they have been in negotiations with Museum of Tolerance, Anti-Defamation League, and other organizations on how best to respond. And they have pledged to ask their faculty, staff, students to take further training and sensitivity to these issues. The crux of the matter was the Holocaust denial, that's most people consider not a matter of debate. The Holocaust happened. It's an absolute historical fact. Certainly we want our students to have critical thinking skills when there are issues that can be debated. Anyway, all of this is just background because Senator Torres has now sent in a request that a program that had been funded previously, it's a $2 million program that brings students, faculty, administrators to the Museum of Tolerance and other like organizations for sensitivity training, for professional development, that $2 million be restored to the budget. It's been several years since it's been cut, and we want, while it's too late to agendize it for today, we want to, for the record, state that it is an item that will probably be considered in full budget hearing or in budget deliberations as we move along. Just wanted to publicly air that. And with that, we now move on to the next part of our agenda, which deals with 4 issues. First being governor's language proposals. You actually all have these in your agenda packets. We've discussed these in general in the past. If anyone from the public wants to discuss or comment on any of these 4 items prior to our moving to a vote, even though it's vote only, we will take additional public comment if you wish to make comment. Does anybody wish to come forward and comment on any one of these 4 proposals, either governor's language proposals, state operations, local assistance, or school facilities, as listed in the agenda?